Funny talk. That's it. That's the theme song. Fuck you.
Welcome, everyone. This is Funny Talk. I am your host, Coconut Buyer. To my left over here is my pal Yuri.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just yeah.
I am Yuri.
Yes, you are.
Nothing's changed there.
Nothing's changed. Everything's the same. And to my right, we have Laura.
The intern.
The intern.
But
She's still an
speak
intern.
out of turn. Pew, pew.
Oh, you are making that your thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I've uploaded. I should upload
The
that.
Mad Men?
I think I should upload that soon.
Mad Men?
It's on YouTube scheduled, but
Oh God, I'm dreading that.
I
why?
think it went well.
What did you do?
Oh,
Enough.
it's fine.
I just wasn't
You
funny
didn't say
enough.
anything offensive. Anyways, so here we are, back. The whole gang is back again to talk about Doug once again, like we usually do. Any business? Any business?
Well, have we done Doug news?
We haven't done Doug news in a while. We should. I bet there's a plethora of Doug-related news stories to.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. It's been like a month or something.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's get into Doug news.
Let's do
All right. Here we are in the Doug news section.
In the Doug news studio.
Doug knew we walked all over. To
We
the
all
news
shifted a
studio.
chair over.
Right. Here we are.
Yeah.
So
Things are different here.
it's more professional.
So, Laura, you weren't with us last Doug podcast. Did you
No.
watch the live?
I
one?
did.
What'd you think of it?
It was
Disney
really
vibe.
upsetting. Honestly, I messaged Richard right when I started it to tell him
Right.
that I found it really off-putting to see adults acting that childlike, or just because Doug's so like unsure of himself and nerdy. Seeing an adult like that made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Did you find the way he portrayed the character was kind of a disconnect to how he actually is a little bit?
Not really. I mean, it was bound to be because there's like the musical
Right.
genre is very different
Mhm.
from animation. Did you think that? Is that what you thought?
I thought it was
Yeah.
just like he just seemed so un-Doug-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where he was getting his
I think
performance
that
from.
of all the disconnect between the characters and the actors, it was most clear in that actor.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because
Mhm.
he had the most, on
Screen
stage
time.
time, but I really thought that he was not right at all.
Yeah.
Plus, the hair didn't look right.
With
Yeah,
that stupid
yeah.
hairpiece.
But it
yeah.
had that Disney magic to it. Overall, it was bad as far as Doug goes. But what is that saying, really? But just that Disney magic. I think I said in the last podcast. I really liked the romance that they had going.
Yeah.
The walk under the moonlight and all that,
Yeah.
and the Disney
Yeah.
music in the background. It felt very Disney, and it felt really nice.
I kind of like the songs.
I hated them.
They were
What?
kinda
You didn't
funny.
love 21 Jumbo Street?
I did not.
Oh,
To me, the
that's a good
whole
song.
thing sounded like they improvised the entire thing. Like they all sound out of key a lot of the time, and the harmonies aren't
Yeah.
very good. And it sounded like they just shoved them all out on stage. And were
Right.
like, do your best. Like, come up with something.
Because all the backing vocals are the actual voice actors from the show
Yeah.
that they
maybe
got
that's
them to
why.
sing, which is weird. Doesn't really fit for I don't know. It's probably cost.
Yeah,
effective.
it's weird because it's like they all had Broadway voices, the singers,
Yeah.
and then
And then like Mr.Dink singing in the background,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh okay.
I loved that like the power that they all wanted, like the thing they all coveted the most, like the Tesseract. Is that what it's called?
Tesseract?
Of Doug.
Is that in Avengers?
Yeah, that's from the Avengers.
Okay.
It's like self-esteem.
Right.
Just so dumb.
Just a multi-movie arc about them trying to get their self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's
Above all else, that's what they cover.
be yourself. That's a
Mhm.
good theme. Well, it is a theme park.
Oh God.
That was like, I think we talked about that. but-
Demon Roger said that.
No, regular Doug said that.
Oh, you did sound like Roger.
Oh,
It's okay.
no, he was like, "Whoa, what's the?" I can't do the Roger voice.
Doug news.
Oh yeah, is that what
So-
segment we're in?
No, I think that's what this is.
Okay,
All right, let's all shift back.
all right, let's end it.
End of Doug news.
End of Doug news. End of Doug Vangelion. All right, now it's time for our first episode in our fifth.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm,
Go
I'm
ahead.
out of
Rewind.
practice. I'm out of practice. Cut it back.
You pronounce the H, or like they go together.
Wait, yeah. Pause.
Well, you see, I was
Who
thinking
does
about
this?
this.
Who does like the timeout?
My teachers.
Teachers, coaches.
No,
Mature,
in
responsible
like
people.
a sitcom,
The
90s,
teacher from
Saved by the Bell.
Oh.
That one kid, Dave Coulier. He's like, timeout.
Was he Screech?
No, not Dave
No,
Coulier. I'm thinking
Screech
of
is,
Full House.
Dustin Diamond.
He's in prison.
No, he is in prison
Well, he's always
for stabbing a man.
Are you thinking of Zach?
I'm thinking
The Zach attack.
No, I am thinking of Zach. I never watched that show.
It's okay if you did. You can tell us.
I didn't. No, I never
You're
did.
lying. Why do you know the action then?
Because people reference it all the time.
I've
In
never.
popular culture, they do.
Okay.
No, I
It's
didn't
okay.
do.
That's I know. People love Saved by the Bell for some reason.
I watched it when I was growing up in the early '90s, and
Right.
I just didn't. I didn't remember that particularly, but yeah.
Apparently, that's a
probably.
thing. Like he controls space
thing.
and time, and he's like time out, and
Yeah.
everybody freezes.
Mm.
He should be an
Oh
Avenger.
yeah, he did break the fourth wall a lot.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot.
You could say break the fourth wall, or you could say that he's just
Enter the fourth dimension.
entered the fourth dimension.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, let's not divulge anymore. Although my mom said she liked it when we divulged from our in our conversation.
Diverged?
Diverged.
Divergent?
Yes, divergent
Did you guys see
to
that?
Insurgent.
Maze Scorched
Insurgent.
Trails.
Speaking of divulging,
Okay.
yeah. So it is confusing now because now we're episode 6,
Mhm.
podcast episode 5.
Well,
on
no,
the show.
it's going to be number 5.
This is episode.
This is episode 5.
5?
Last episode was a special episode.
Oh, a special.
Special. I
Right.
did that just for this reason.
Special,
So we would not
okay.
get confused.
It was
Okay.
a Christmas episode?
What's that?
Christmas? Last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Last week
Yeah.
was Christmas.
In
There actually
July.
is a Christmas episode of Doug.
Oh god, that's gonna be
So,
confusing.
yeah.
We'll just call that the musical episode.
Yeah. So that was a musical episode.
And this episode was called "Doug Can't Dig It."
Doug can't dig it.
I like it.
This is
The name.
Warriors. It's a Warrior spoof.
It is.
Yeah, because like
Mm.
Judy's like, "Can you dig it?" And then Doug's like, "I can't." And then Judy's like, "Oh," and she pretends to be dead. And then everyone chases Doug with baseball bats,
You know, what?
like the movie The Warriors.
Did I watch the right episode?
Oh no!
I saw.
You've seen The Warriors.
I've seen The Warriors.
It has that great Scantle song in it.
And I think we watched the right episode
yeah,
about Judy digging it,
right,
Mm.
right.
and Doug can't dig
And
it.
Doug can't dig it. Doug can't dig it.
Am I right that this episode begins in a way that I don't know? Like maybe it's easy to say that we don't know what the hell exactly is going on at the beginning of this episode.
No,
Like Judy, she's dressed up like,
a pirate.
or isn't it some sort
A
of Mexican?
bull
Oh
tamer.
yeah,
stereotype?
like
Yeah.
a
bull
matador.
tamer.
It's
A
a
bull-
yeah, sure.
matador. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Man and a
something
door.
like that.
that. A man and a door.
And so, yeah, Doug's sister she's going to put on some kind of show where she talks about Doug and his fantasy of what the show's going to go like. She's on the stage, and I don't know what the hell she's supposed to be doing. She's like doing a little bit of everything. And then she mentioned something about pink underwear and the fact that Doug likes Patty. It's all very disconnected.
Well,
I
that's
thought
his
that was funny.
fantasy. That's his fantasy.
His fantasy is
Yeah.
for his sister to talk about pink underwear.
Okay.
Come on.
How did I know you would go down this road? I'm like, Doug and Yuri, I expected better from you. But no.
That's disgusting.
Well, the thing is, like, Doug needs to his sister is going to be performing at his school
Assembly.
for some reason.
I don't know how she got that gig.
Yeah.
She's like how much? What? 2-3 years older than Doug?
Yeah,
let's
she's
assume?
in high school, I think.
I was wondering that too. She must be in high school.
think she
must
is.
she must be like she goes for a special arts school because she is
Yeah.
still living with the family. So
Maybe it's like when people from when you're in grade school, people from high schools come over and they're like, "Hey, come to our school. It's great. We have these programs." I think maybe it's like one of those type of things.
she's special.
I think maybe she doesn't go to an art school and goes to a regular school and
Right.
gets aggressively bullied, and so they did this for her self-esteem.
Oh, definitely. She
That makes
definitely
sense, too.
gets aggressively
That's
bullied.
your theory. They didn't come right out and say that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
No, that's my theory.
Okay, I like
Right.
that theory. That's
Yeah.
Because why else would she be there?
It seems insane that they would invite her to do what she does, which is performance
Right.
art, but is really not very good.
yeah, and I could see that she's a person out of her time. That she would be picked on a lot because of that. It just doesn't make sense because it's like near the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, and she's like a mid-60s hippie kind of
Yeah.
Andy Warhol type. And
Right,
I don't know
right.
how she ended up like that.
Maybe
she's a beatnik.
because the 80s were terrible.
She's
was
Yeah,
trying
she
to
was just trying to
head back a little.
offset it.
Yeah, that's good for her, but she's gonna be picked on.
I feel like maybe she was trying to. It was the '90s. She was trying to set the trend of the era. Maybe.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna take this decade as my own.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's. I don't know.
She missed horribly.
She did. She didn't predict grunge.
I really have no idea why Doug's sister. I think they're hanging out in the burger place. Him and Skeeter.
The
and
honker burger.
The honker burger,
I'll
and
never
then
forget.
and then his sister and her gang comes in and they do all their rambling about
Yeah.
what they want to order, and they say it in their funny ways. And then I don't get it. She like stands on a table at the burger place and starts singing about strawberries.
Strawberry
milkshake. Strawberry milkshake.
They nail the theater type kids so well.
Oh.
The way
I
the
liked
three
it.
of them are ordering together.
Yeah, it was great.
So, they're like, "Ka-doo-ba-ba-doo."
She was the
Yeah.
worst,
Oh.
but the other three were great.
Yeah.
If they made this show nowadays, they'd totally be like Glee kids.
Yeah.
And then just be
Yeah.
singing Glee songs all the time.
It would be a full musical number. People
Oh.
love
Yeah.
that stuff now.
That'd be terrible.
And Doug goes, I'm going to use psychology on Judy.
Then he like touches his head and it's like ding ding.
And then he goes to use psychology on her, and it doesn't work. And he's like, I guess psychology doesn't work on sisters. And it's like, also, you didn't use psychology.
So you didn't even try.
No, not at all.
Poor Doug. But there is like one part where okay, when they're like singing when they're like doing their like weird poetry stuff to the
Poetry stuff. Yeah.
or like whatever they're the weird
it's
drama stuff to the lady at the cash register.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we want burgers, we want milkshakes, and then I'm realizing, wait, they're not going to get what they ordered because established in the first episode,
Yes.
they have to order it in this weird
I
way,
thought
like
that's what they were
3
doing.
soggy stinkers. No, they
They
weren't
didn't
doing
say it right.
They didn't say soggy stinkers once.
But I don't know that their end game was to even receive food. I think they were just there to perform.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
do their performance
But then
art.
they did get food.
Well,
So it's kind of
That's just performance art food.
Here's a theory.
It's not for
Maybe
eating.
it's pretend.
maybe it doesn't. Maybe in order to order food at this what's it called?
Regularly.
Yeah,
Honker
honker burger.
You have to
Be
same.
eccentric.
you have to not necessarily eccentric. You have to be a moron in some kind of way.
What?
No, let me. No, I'm
Are these like
moron.
just handouts?
You have to act in a very
Off-putting way.
off-putting. You have to be like you belong in
Yeah.
a mental
You
institution.
have to be
or
like
whatever.
very annoying.
If you just like fart on the table, look at
You fart on the table and they give you a milkshake.
Leave
like,
your
here's
dignity
a
at
hot,
the door.
steamy, soggy, what are they
Soggy
called?
stinker.
Soggy stinker.
Oh my
Clear what you
god.
want.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Okay.
Well, also there's a
Um,
part where Skeeter talks and he doesn't move his mouth. I should mention.
Really?
that. Yeah.
That's great. Why?
He's like, because there was an animation error, or he has ESP, which I think is likely.
What is it? So Skeeter, he suggests that Doug Doug becomes J.B. Hunkamunka.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
acting
Hunker Munker,
agent.
yeah.
Hunker
Yeah.
Munker.
I was
He calls Judy as this
Yeah.
fake character called J.G. Hunker Munker.
J.B. Hunker Munker.
And pretends to be like a Hollywood big shot that's going to give her big break.
And he sounds amazing when he does that voice.
I was going to say, like, Doug, you should get into voice acting.
Totally.
No,
And
it doesn't even sound like him.
And if he can
He's a
do
good
that
actor.
voice, he should be doing that voice.
Yeah.
You know, in his daily life.
Yeah, you should just, like, make up. There was a kid like that. He had, like... Whenever he, like, talked in class, he did, like, I'm doing a high squeaky voice. And then
Yeah.
whenever he was talking to his friends in class, like, the exact same... Within a moment, he would just use his regular voice.
That's bizarre.
I
He
think
was
maybe
probably nervous to talk in class.
Or maybe he was trying to trick the teacher into thinking that was his real voice.
Yeah, like that he was a nervous kid, and then the
Right.
teacher would feel sorry for him.
Or though well, I do know another kid from like university. His voice actually changed between like the summer. Like he had a very high squeaky voice, and the next year he had a very low voice. Like it's almost like he went through puberty over the year. But it was really just like a vocal thing. Like he had to train his mind to like get used to talking differently. I don't know. It was very.
That's very weird.
But apparently it happens.
Well, I had a friend who went to London for like 6 months, and she came back and had a slight English affect to her voice.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's kind of like your environment informs your accent.
this is true.
Yeah.
Anyways, he sounded really good.
Oh,
did
that
sound
reminded
very
me. Again going back to when Judy's friends were singing their orders to the burger place. That
Yeah.
sounded a lot like a early or mid '90s McDonald's or Burger King commercial.
It looked like it. It looked like a scene from Mac and Me.
What's smacking me?
Oh, that's like it's like an old. It's like from the '80s, like an ET ripoff.
Okay.
Where he finds like a kid finds an alien creature and it befriends him.
Not quite what I was thinking.
But then they take him. No, they take him. They take him to McDonald's, and then everyone at McDonald's is like dancing, and it becomes a big ad for McDonald's.
It was all big musical numbers.
So
back
McDonald's
then.
is the only crossover between the two things you just mentioned.
Yeah, well, everyone dancing.
Yeah, okay.
Like it was like a scene from Mac Me.
Like McDonald's should have like had them write an episode or something.
They should. I wonder if there was ever Doug toys at McDonald's Happy Meals.
Oh, I'm sure that, especially when the movie came out. I'm sure there were.
I wonder because Disney did have a deal with McDonald's.
Oh,
in the
100%.
90s.
That when the movie came out, there was Doug toys. I wonder if we could find some.
I might have even owned a couple.
You could definitely find some on.
I wonder.
Like online, people probably sell that shit or whatever.
I wonder what they were like, if they were like talked or anything. They'd be so boring.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be just like those. I'm sure it's like the crappy ones that just like a ruler with like Doug's face on it.
No, I can imagine like a Doug little figurine. He's just like shrugging.
you press him down and he just like his shoulders go up.
Yeah. He just goes like.
Anyway,
and all the other toys are way cooler than Doug. Like the Doug toys, like
Roger
the
would
lamest
be the
one.
best.
Yeah, Roger would
he'd be like in a
shoot
car or
lasers. He
something.
would talk.
And the toy just like shows up in your room when you least expect it somehow.
Roger.
Hey,
yeah.
And the Patty toy, I feel like as soon as the parents heard it, they would just whip it at the wall. And be like,
It's like,
no.
Hey, no, you can't
No,
have
it
this.
dispenses mayonnaise.
Ugh.
So
it's just a jar of mayonnaise.
That's practical. You know what? That's practical.
So Hunker Munker, he's trying to
Mr. Hunker Munker.
This is like Doug's second attempt to like derail Judy's performance at his school. He tells her as Hunker Munker that he doesn't think this would be a good career move for her, and for some reason she's under the impression that it would be. And I feel like that's what the people writing the episode are trying to say, that this is a good opportunity for Judy. I'm not sure how, but yeah.
Well,
So
it builds her audience, I guess.
Oh,
this
yeah.
was before social media.
True.
Yeah.
True. I think this is a good point though to ask. What sort of talent is Doug's sister, anyways? I mean, we've seen her. In this episode so far, we've seen her play the bongo drums, sing and scream at a mirror, all of which she does mediocrely at best.
Yeah.
Well, and later on, Doug calls her a performance artist.
Mm-hmm.
And then he leaves, so we don't actually see what her performance is.
Did.
So I just got thinking, like, I wonder what this act she has is all about.
You can slap the title performance artist on pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And if you wear all black and a beret and call yourself a performance artist, then you are. You're as good as any.
She's probably just sitting in like a table across from somebody, and they just stare at each other for hours.
That would be intense.
That would be intense.
Yeah.
Like,
what's that chick's name?
I wouldn't
Maria Abramovic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People cried.
Well,
People did cry because it's so intense.
If someone's going to say, come and pay money to come and watch me sit at a table and stare intensely at you, I know that they're professional. Anybody can do that.
They're a professional stare. Yeah, well, you need endurance. Like, she had to, like, go to the washroom a lot of those times. And she had, like, a little compartment underneath her chair to do that.
A catheter?
Yeah.
Okay.
She peed.
Disgusting.
That is
I already
disgusting.
wasn't going to go do that. I'm not going to.
Well,
I'm sorry, Judy did this?
No, yes, Judy did this.
Man, I gotta get a better.
That's why everyone was so
copy
moved.
of the episode.
Yeah,
everybody was so moved.
Everyone was so moved by it.
No wonder.
It's also live action.
Yeah, Doug's like, I don't think I'm gonna watch this. I've seen her performance.
Oh, I don't know.
This is why he doesn't want her performing at his school, because he doesn't want everybody to see her.
Well, and he says he's going to have, he mentions this before, but he's going to have a nervous breakdown over Judy performing at his school.
Which is exactly why she needs to perform at his school.
Right.
And she needs him to introduce her performance.
Yeah, that seems like a little bit of a low blow. Like, she knows that he's an anxious kid and probably doesn't want to do that.
I wonder why it's such a big deal for her to have her brother introduce her.
Yeah, we find out later. But
do we?
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, I don't know. I guess it's like a family thing.
Yeah, I think like...
Not in words, but more in emotion.
Sweat.
Yeah,
in sweat.
In
sweat.
Yeah, she's really anxious about getting on stage. Obviously, she does this as an outlet for like her anxiety that's obviously genetic.
Yeah.
And I think she wants Doug there to support her. And maybe she's trying to get closer with Doug.
Right.
Because in the Judy has not played a big role in Doug's life or the show, but the next episode after this one, they're like besties.
Hey.
Took one introduction and like now they're good friends. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like that. I like that theory.
I think that like, and it's Judy that says to Doug that he needs to be there and introduce because he just can't dig it, you know. And it's like that's the episode
Doug,
title.
You just
there it
can't
is.
dig it.
She says that he can't dig it.
That's such a '90s thing to tell somebody to.
Oh, it's
they
more
can
than
dig
'90s.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still use that. Do you ever say that? Dig
No,
it. I dig it.
I've never.
I
dig it.
You say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. But I never feel like I get away with it, entirely.
You were getting away with it up until you just said you didn't think you were getting away with it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with slogans and sayings.
You have confidence, man. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
You're
good until you call yourself out.
You say, I dig it, and it's like I say it, and I know that I don't care what other people think, but I know people are like, okay, he digs it, does he?
I think you have to start getting more grandiose with it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
Can you
take
dig
off
it?
some sunglasses or something.
We got one more thing. Doug is right to a certain extent in trying to prevent his sister, like whether or not he realizes that he is already really lame.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that having his sister perform at his school will definitely just make him seem more lame because she's a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how she was picked on a lot at that school, theoretically. So, anyways,
definitely.
I think that I can understand where he's coming from for sure, until the emotional level that comes into play later.
Well, I thought that what Judy was saying was that she should come perform at his school because he needs to just relax.
Yeah.
Nothing so terrible.
Cool.
Just can you dig it? It's
chill.
not so crazy for me to come to your school. Like, the worst that will happen is you get embarrassed, right?
Right.
But then we see in the next scene that they were going to play together once.
Yeah.
And she ruined it.
She was like,
an attention-seeking
terrible.
idiot.
Yeah. Like,
she
why?
Chased on stage.
And she ruined the scene. She made people laugh. She didn't die when she was supposed to. Like, she was totally off book.
She was a scene stealer for sure.
Yeah. What a ham.
And then I really hated her because Doug did his line. He brushed her with his head.
And Doug was the star.
You gotta have something with that.
No, I think it's because the copy I was watching was cutting off certain parts, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not like cutting out the scenes. It was just like
They're
zoomed in on part of the screen.
Oh, you were watching it on YouTube.
I was.
Oh, no.
Well, it's all I can do.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, right.
That's true. That's all you can do.
But yeah, then she doesn't die and like chases him around. It's the best.
And that was like Doug was the star of that play too, so it was like her like overshadowing him completely and just being a dick.
She was the villain.
But then again, she's the true performance artist here.
Exactly.
He doesn't have any ambition.
And that was like years ago. Doug should probably get over it.
Yeah. Move on, Doug.
Does Doug strike you as someone who would currently, if you were cast as the lead in a play, want to do that? Probably not.
No.
So at one time in his life, he was comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And maybe did have ambitions.
Maybe Judy.
Maybe she fucking ruined it.
Maybe Judy beat him down.
Yeah.
He ruined his dreams.
Judy is a punk.
What a punk.
Judy.
What song is that?
Hey Judy.
Oh.
Judy.
So anyways, Hunker Munker calls her. We're going back to that.
Whoa, fuck. Are we still there?
We
didn't reveal that that Judy just like comes up to him behind him and just like I don't think or no, Doug's like talking to Skeeter and he's like she totally bought that, and Skeeter sees Judy behind him and he's like Doug.
He doesn't even say Doug. He's like
Is that what Skeeter says?
Yeah. Says is a loose term.
It says like
he's so scared of Judy. Judy probably like beat the shit out of him.
Oh.
She's pretty tough looking.
But yeah, she like busts Doug, and then and Doug has to go through with it.
Yeah, so Doug, this is where we jump forward to the actual night of the performance. And Doug, yet again, he's just so stupid. He's such a moron.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I can't remember if he was talking to Pork Chop or somebody, or maybe he was talking to himself, but he goes like, I want to get some fresh air. And he walks. And he walks through a door clearly marked stage.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Not even that. Like in front of him are windows showing outside, so he thinks, okay, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction from where outside obviously is in front of me.
Yeah, or maybe he doesn't know what fresh air is.
Right.
Either way, he's not the cleverest.
He doesn't know the layout of the school very
Yeah.
well. I feel like he's been there for a couple months now, maybe.
I love when
weeks.
when he walks out into the non-fresh air right onto the backstage. he like looks out and he sees Roger, and Roger's already laughing hysterically.
Yes.
Oh,
And nothing's
yes.
even happened yet. That's how you know it's contrived, you know?
That was actually, like, I thought that was the funniest part
It
in
was
the
Right.
really funny.
whole episode because, I mean, I know that the reason for laughing at Doug for that, like, it seems immature, maybe cruel, perhaps unfounded, but Doug is just a pathetic fucking guy
Right.
with an unassuming presence of absence, really.
Yeah.
And he looks like such a typical lamb for slaughter when he walks out on
Right,
the stage.
right,
He goes,
right.
"Hi guys, I'm Doug Funny." And as soon as he says Doug Funny, you get a close up of Roger and his asshole
Just-
gang just busting a
like
gut and
hyenas.
pointing a finger and
Yeah.
laughing.
By the way, they reused
Oh,
that
God.
same laugh Roger does like 3 times throughout the episode.
Do they?
It's all
Yeah.
like
He's so antagonizing, and I think that for me personally, this is the part that I really dig in the episode.
Oh,
where
God.
Roger,
Did you just say
yeah.
dig?
You did it.
I did. I dig where Roger is coming from.
God
Hold it
damn
up.
it,
and his
Yuri.
ridiculous asshole
It
friends.
was
I don't think
really
you did.
funny.
It
but
was.
He's even laughing before Doug goes on stage and shows himself to
Right.
the audience. He's laughing hysterically before he sees
Oh,
Doug.
really?
Right.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
missed
yeah,
that.
he is.
It's so he's just like going through the motions. He's like, I better start now.
Yeah. And then he just can't stop. And
Yeah.
he just
But it
laughs
seems
the
very
whole time.
sincere, the laughter. Like, he really seems to think it's funny. And to me, that's funny.
So then Doug, he sees like Judy's like the vice principal of Bone is like, oh, you gotta go on now, Judy, or else. And Judy's like, no, I have to wait for my brother. And then he kind of feels
He digs it.
bad.
He
He
finally
feel-
digs it.
He feels bad that he's not like
Yeah.
being nice to his sister.
Because she's sweating.
Yeah, she has anxiety, obviously.
And he's like, okay.
Okay, I guess I'll do it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Funny.
What does he?
Cue Roger.
Did you transcribe what he said? What does he? What does
That's
he
all
say?
he says when he walks out
He
on
just
stage.
says, "Hi, I'm Doug Funny."
He goes, "Hi, hello,
Uh,
everyone. I'm Doug Funny."
Oh no, it's like, here's somebody I've known for all my life and,
And
most of hers.
yeah.
Here's my sister Judy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then Judy does some. What does she do? She does
We don't know. She comes on stage going, chicka pa pa pa.
She sounds like Seinfeld.
Yeah,
She composes the Seinfeld theme.
that's
Yeah.
what she did.
And he doesn't watch. Oh wait, I want to go back so far for 1 second,
No,
just
please.
because it's gonna
Please.
play out later. But he makes a joke when he's having a fantasy at the very beginning. That's like something about being in this assembly, but it's better than being in math class. And then everyone like just busts a gut.
Was that in this episode or was that in Daria?
It's also in Daria. That's why I bring it up.
sure beats algebra.
Yeah, there's
Oh, I
there's
love
that
that
joke
part.
in
Yeah,
this
yeah, I
love
and
that.
in that, which I just
Wow.
think is so.
What
fun.
was this
We'll
part
get-
in Doug?
It's in his.
I don't
It's in the
remember
fantasy
this.
at the very beginning when he envisions
Oh, that's why I couldn't see it.
introducing her, maybe.
Doesn't he like imagine himself on stage?
Yeah.
Which is weird because I wouldn't think Doug would imagine himself speaking in front of a big audience of people. I wouldn't think he would imagine that favorably, you know?
Well, the fantasy would be the wish that he could do that without anxiety.
I guess so.
But yeah, and he makes that joke, and then they make it in Daria, and that's like the perfect school joke, just at being a kid at
sure
school
beats
joke.
algebra.
And it's really quite hilarious.
It is in the moment when you're there and you're that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to love making stupid jokes like that. Oh my god, I still do. I wanted to ask, like, I touched on this a few minutes ago, but like, as far as what we actually think that Judy does in her act,
Mhm.
what do you guys really think that she
I
does up
think
there?
she ends up getting naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we all
Something
agree
with
on
like
that.
minstrel blood, probably.
Mhm.
Something Doug wouldn't want to see.
The menstrual blood?
Oh,
Menstrual blood.
I thought you said minstrel blood. Why did
Minstrel
I not
blood?
question that? I should have.
Isn't that what you
Like
said?
someone in blackface that is bleeding.
Yep, I didn't
Hey.
want to go there.
Hey, that might be a
Hey,
good.
maybe it's minstrel.
That's a good. That has a lot of layers.
I'm
right there.
sorry,
Yeah.
I
That's a
have
good
an
idea.
infected ear, so maybe I'm not hearing you correctly.
I said
He
like
said menstrual.
menstrual blood.
Okay, good,
Not
that's what I
minstrel
thought.
blood.
I didn't know there was a
Menstrual blood.
difference.
No.
Between menstrual blood and minstrel blood?
Yuri, were you away that day of sexual education?
Yeah, we didn't really get
Learn
it in
about
our small town.
Blood.
By the way, my sex education class, one class in grade
Was
7.
it thorough?
No,
Oh,
I think they
dear.
just showed you like 2 diagrams of naked bodies. Like, these are what girls look like. These are what guys look like. Figure it out.
Yeah, mine
Oh
was
my
like that too. We
God.
never got to
I-
put
we
Are
had-
there lots of pregnant kids at your school?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and this was like grade 8. So,
You didn't get to put the condom on the banana.
No.
We didn't either.
None of that.
And
It's
now
also not
people
helpful,
do that?
And you can't put on condoms.
Now
on
I don't know.
bananas.
I don't even know what a condom is.
Oh,
I just
man.
look at it and think, oh,
Now,
what?
if me and a banana want to get it on, I have no idea how to put it on.
Well, I can still figure out ways to get on a banana. Like, I'm not going to let this lack of sexual
I always
education.
put it on the wrong. I always put it on the wrong way. I was going to do the stem part of it, and I was like, shit.
I take the peel.
Anyways,
I take
enough,
the
enough
banana.
about my sex life.
The peel is like its own built-in condom. I don't know why you guys were just putting condoms on bananas.
That's true. That's true.
But
Live a little.
well, I missed that lesson too. But at my school, like
Right.
our sex education class, it turned into drug education class.
What?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
inexplicably, and then
What?
it turned into like half the kids going on one side of the room who believed that like it was going to be a class debate, and one side of the room were kids saying, "Yeah, I think that kids should be able to experiment, and there's nothing wrong with it for this reason, that reason." The other half was the opposing argument. And this was in the 9th grade, so I was like opposed to drugs and experimenting.
High school? Why are high school kids having these conversations?
Well, it was all about
Why would they
It's
know?
about
awareness.
safety.
You know,
How would they know
Yeah.
about experimenting and stuff?
In high school?
by grade
well,
9.
no, I mean
people
like
are-
they're experimenting at the time, so why would they have like an informed an opinion
That's
about
the thing
that?
with kids is they think they know so much that they
Yeah.
don't.
Right,
Yeah.
but that seems like
It's
such
funny.
a. I thought you had debates about like whether or not Heathcliff was an asshole or not.
Yeah, well, in English, but in sex ed.
Why would you have debates in sex ed? Why don't you just teach your
Wait,
children?
wait.
No, we
how
had
to-
the same thing though. That it wasn't sex ed. It was just general like
Awareness.
having fun after
Yeah.
school
Right.
education. Like these
having
are-
fun after school
Yeah,
education.
like these are the
Like
things
that.
you should or shouldn't be doing when you guys go
Right.
enjoy yourselves.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
It scares me to think back on that because when I had all
Yeah.
those education classes, I was always such a straight. I'm still straight edge, but I'm
They
not
don't-
as straight edge as I used to be. And now I feel like I've tainted my past, and it makes me think back to wishing I was still on that one side of the room in that
Man,
debate.
Let's watch a debate with old Yuri and new Yuri.
Yes.
Really? That,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
right.
let's do that.
I can do that. I have
You
like,
have the
I'll just
technology.
switch. You know,
Yeah.
mind
Switch
sets.
minds.
I have a 13-year-old inside me. I'm a 13-year-old boy, pretty
Don't
much.
we- don't we
essentially.
all?
You have a 13-year-old
13-year-old
inside,
inside
you.
you?
I do too.
Maybe
His
even a
name is
5-year-old
Dan.
boy. I don't know.
Wait, you're 13 year.
You have a 13-year-old Laura?
It's a boy.
Inside of me.
A
Yeah.
boy?
It's a 13-year-old boy.
A boy,
Yeah,
Laura.
He's inside of me.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm so sorry.
Wait,
I said I'm gonna say another gross thing soon.
wait, you're pregnant.
A
With a
14-year-old
13-year-old,
boy.
yeah.
Oh no, Laura, I don't think.
Oh,
A
God.
13-year-old
I don't think
got
you're
me
ever
pregnant
having
with a
that.
13-year-old.
I don't think you're ever having that baby.
What? What do you mean? You're supposed to be pregnant for
Not enough.
24 years and then it dies.
No.
Not
It's
enough
only 9
after-school
months.
fun classes. for
9
you.
months.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like enough time
Laura, I
to grow a
think that-
13-year-old.
This has gone way off the rails.
Okay, let's go back to
Let's
it.
apologize for this real quick.
No, like, let's save that for the future
Okay.
selves.
Anyway,
We're basically done, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone loves
Jude's.
Jude's performance.
Well, like, right after it, Roger comes
That's why I
up to
think she
Doug.
did get naked.
Oh, yeah, we were saying, what did
Roger
she do?
loves it.
Like,
But
You're
Roger was
saying-
like, no, I don't think so, because Roger would have teased Doug about that.
Yeah.
But Roger was like, nah, I loved it. I got out of math class. Fuck
Another get out of school. Good joke.
you. Right. You know, I guess Roger and Doug have the same sense of humor.
But yeah, menstrual blood. That's what we're saying.
Menstrual-
Yeah, not
let's just say
menstrual
period
blood.
blood. Can we just go,
Period-
get
yeah,
to brass
period
tacks?
blood.
to skip any
Yeah.
miscommunication.
Well,
Right.
like-
Period
Blood from the 17th century.
And what did you think she was doing?
I thought it was minstrel blood, like from a minstrel show. I didn't want to ask what he meant.
That's what
I
you,
said menstrual.
you both think that's what
Turn
her
the tape
performance
back. I
was.
said menstrual.
Menstrual. Either way, I think
Minstrel,
that,
minstrel.
that you're right because
Okay.
you guys know that woman who shoved yarn in her vagina,
Should what out of her
yarn, and would knit out of her vagina.
Oh, Caroline something.
He
you know
knows her
her
name.
Yeah, they mentioned. I took like an performance
Oh,
art
she's
class.
like studied in perform. I hate that woman.
What?
Why?
But
Because
she.
that's
she
not
shoved stuff
art.
up.
That's not art.
Would you do that?
No, because
Exactly.
well,
That's she's putting herself out there in the most vulnerable space.
it's unhealthy. She's shoving a huge wad of bleached white yarn in her vagina
Yeah,
for
it's
a
very
month
unhealthy.
and keeping it up there. But how is that art? Like, I don't understand that just because you're doing something other people wouldn't do, that
Right.
becomes art.
It's more about like
She's
so complicated.
Watch the
to
video of
explain,
her.
but,
It's like
yeah.
it's her saying absolutely nothing. It's her being like, I want to make an informed decision. I don't want to be a lemming. What are you saying? She never actually completes the thought. It's her just being like, I'm not just gonna be another one like everyone else. Like, what? What do you mean? What's your point? You know
To me, performance art, it's not really about whether or not you have something to say. Of course you do. Everything you make has something to say.
Yeah.
It's more about the performance of it, visually watching what the fuck's going on. Seeing something like that, come on, you're not going to see a movie with that in it, you know? Like,
I guess so. I guess it's...
And seeing it live, like, that's amazing.
Maybe for men, that's, like, a little jarring. For me, it's, like, great. That's her period blood. That's the cotton that's in her vagina.
Right.
She's knitting a sweater, and
But in the context
she's trying to change the paradigm. That's what you keep saying.
Right.
I don't think that's the way to do it.
She's knitting... It's in her...
Okay, yes.
And she's currently having a period?
Well, she does it for a
has
year,
it like
so
a
she does
year,
it through her menstrual cycle.
So like, does it come out red?
Yeah. So then,
that's
and
the
then
idea.
who the fuck wants that? You know what I mean?
Imagine she's like your grandmother, and she's like,
"What?
She gives you a Christmas present.
Right.
She's like, "Open
Here
it
you
up!
go.
I made it just for you."
It's like, this is from July 4th.
It took me a whole year to make this. I wish you were happy. That's all.
Yeah, it's
that's
like,
all.
Grandma, you're still getting your period? Dope.
Oh shit.
Healthy lady.
Oh, Grandma.
That reminds me of not quite as bad, but like Tilda Swinton, how she does that thing every few years where she just lies in a glass case on a bed, in a museum. Have you guys heard? You know who she is,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
And like she's done it more than once.
Really?
People like come up to her like contact her after years and probably are like, Tilda, like I loved your work back in '95. We're thinking of bringing it back. You know? Okay, are you up for the challenge? Huh. Are you down for the challenge, more?
Can you dig this challenge?
Can you dig the challenge, Tilda? I can dig it.
So
this has gone terribly off course.
Doug loves his sister now, so they're BFFs.
Real quick at the end, she comes into the room and does a bunch of like more embarrassing stuff, and Doug says like, "Oh, she is pretty embarrassing." It's like, but who's she embarrassing you in front of besides Pork Chop right now?
Well, I guess I don't know.
Doug puts way too much like thoughts or like how he thinks of himself in Pork Chop. I'm just trying to say he talks to Pork Chop quite a lot.
Yes.
He also brought Pork Chop to school with him, which is weird.
He probably gets picked on for that.
Yeah, I don't even know you could do that.
I just wanted to say that it doesn't make sense when Doug, like I said, he doesn't watch the show himself.
Doug
doesn't
watch his own show.
No, Doug doesn't watch Judy's show.
No, yeah, that's right.
And I don't. And there's other like insinuations that he's not really sure what it is she does do. But then it doesn't make sense because at the end he writes in his journal that he thinks Judy is actually quite good, quote unquote, and quite sisterly, quote unquote.
Quite sisterly.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
For all, and it's like I wrote
quite sisterly. No, he does it
really
like.
Funny quote.
He does it as kind of like a jab door, I guess.
This is what I wrote as soon as I watched that scene. I said, for all he knows, Judy could have been a nude interpretive dance.
Right.
I wasn't thinking as disgusting as you.
That's not as minstrel blood.
But it's just funny. I mean, I guess it goes to show you always support your family no matter what.
Yeah, always support them, even if they're nude and covered in period blood.
Although their parents are terribly unsupportive people.
Yeah. I haven't seen their parents in a long time.
Very long time.
They weren't in Doug Live.
They're buried in the basement.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh
and they're just living on their own. Oh, man.
Doug is actually a horror.
Doug.
Yeah.
And Judy didn't notice because she's so wrapped up in her own bullshit.
Well, yeah.
Maybe they both did it.
Well,
but they don't know it.
Judy's like, Doug, I need help burying the body, but, Doug just couldn't dig it.
Okay.
You can't dig it, Doug?
Boom.
Do. Okay, so what are your guys' opinions on this episode?
I've given it. I think. Well,
you've given it?
He's digging it.
I dig the part.
Oh, you're digging it.
I dig the part with Roger a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was funny, yeah.
It was just so. It reminds me of. It actually reminded me a lot of this one time in high school. If I may, what was the word?
Divergent.
Divulge.
If you may insurgent for a second.
If I may inception for a second.
Sure.
One time, me and my friend. This is like one of these acts of cruelty that only a child or a teenager can do.
Animal?
Ignorant cruelty.
This is going to be up forever, Yuri. I'm not going to cut this out, whatever you say next.
We're sitting in a car
in
front of a store, me and my friends. We must be in grade 10 or so. and it was wintertime.
Yeah.
And this kid walked out of the store, and we recognized him from school. And as he was walking down the steps of the stores, like during lunch hour, he slips on the ice, falls right on his butt.
Right,
And
hilarious.
then gets right back up and looks around to make sure nobody noticed and walks on. But we were like right in front of him, and he didn't see us, but we all saw him, and we all just laughed our asses
of
off.
course you did.
Yeah.
And then, as he walked off like down the blocks, we're like, let's go drive past him and laugh at him again.
Oh, so he hears this time?
So we went around the block, rolled down all our windows,
Aw.
drove by, and just laughed. And I remember, like, this was the first time my friends, they just drugged me in all kinds of bad, crazy stuff back then. I
Right.
certainly
Drugged
They
wasn't.
you?
drugged you.
I wasn't responsible
And then
for my
made
own
you-
actions.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, you're.
They drugged me and
tell
drugged
that to
me.
the court.
And I remember staring at my friend, who was the one driving the car as we drove by, and he was pointing his finger across from me through the
Oh, watch that
window,
finger, buddy.
right at that kid,
This
and
is
just
like
the
greedy.
look on his face was like this like demonic laughter of
Oh.
pleasure over this kid's falling, and that's like exactly
Roger.
what I thought of when Demon Roger was in the audience.
So you
Lauren
were
Macklemore.
friends with Roger.
Essentially,
Oh man,
Jesus.
man,
That's rough.
it was
that
great.
is rough.
One of the-
There's something really funny about getting right back up. I
Yeah.
really like that a lot.
Like he tried to brush it off, like it was
Yeah.
not, like he didn't hurt himself or
No,
anything.
yeah.
But he
It's
would have
more
been embarrassed,
embarrassing, yeah.
and we all wanted.
We all wanted him to feel pain. That's so.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
Yes, it's the worst. It's the worst thing I've ever done. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Fine.
it?
You're good
That's
to
the
go.
worst.
Well, I killed somebody, so.
And I was drugged when I did it. So
Oh, okay, but I guess that's all right then.
I stream shows illegally sometimes.
Oh, that's actually the worst thing you can do,
Yeah.
Laura.
allegations are coming.
Hey, Laura, you wouldn't steal a car, would you?
I don't know.
So don't steal a
It's too hard to
show.
steal a car. If I could steal a car the way I could steal shows, of
You can
course
click
I'd
a
steal
button.
a car.
That's true. That's true. What do you think of this episode, Laura?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I also
Let's move
agree. Sure.
There's been worse.
Why not?
Episodes.
There's been worse and better.
Why not?
True.
Let's get on
Okay.
to Doug Didn't Do It.
What's new?
Oh,
That's-
this episode's. Oh.
That's when Doug gets famous on the Krusty the Clown show, and then he becomes the I Didn't Do It kid.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. He's on Conan, and then Conan's like, only I made ants. Anyways, that's not the episode.
That's 90s Simpsons.
That's 90s classic Simp Sams. Anyways, so what happens in this one?
So get this.
A pork chop eats a
Dig
whole
it.
bag of chocolate chip cookies and doesn't die. I don't know anymore.
I
Is
love-
that real?
That's real.
That happens in the
Yeah,
episode?
yeah,
I
yeah.
missed that. That's funny.
It was a sight gag.
Yeah.
But he just like eats a whole bunch of chocolate chip cookies. So
I like
whatever.
this ongoing joke that pork chop should be dead from the chocolate, but if we're being real about the kind of dog he is, he's the kind of dog who listens to Walkman
Yeah.
and dances, and it can probably digest chocolate.
And he
But-
doesn't talk,
but-
but he participates in communication.
exactly,
You know?
exactly.
But if a kid who watched this gave their dog a Walkman, their dog is going to be fine. Like if the kid who watched this
see.
gave
No,
their kid
no.
chocolate,
Dog's
Dog's
ears are
gonna
very
die.
sensitive, though. Dog's ears
Yeah.
are very sensitive.
right? But the dog will probably be okay.
And worst case scenario has hearing loss.
After prolonged use, yeah, like
Yeah.
regular Walkman.
Right. But
use,
usually the
yeah.
kid's going to realize, wait, this dog's not really responding to this at all, so I'm going to
Mhm.
stop doing it.
Yeah, well,
I hate
Doug's
this
not
dog
one
and
of
then
those.
kill the
Right.
dog.
Right. Like
Doug will kill pork chop. one of these
repeatable
days.
action. It wasn't around.
This
back then.
episode has the most incredible original open image. It's Doug writing in his journal.
Hey man, gotta stick with what you know.
The only thing that could make it even better would be if someone like, let's say, Roger did or said something to Doug that makes Doug sad and insecure until he realizes that, hey, it never really mattered
Oh
to
my
begin
God.
with.
I love
Oh.
that this is the episode that for you made you like just over it. You know what I
This
mean?
broke
Like
you.
you're all Doug. You're like, yes, I get it, Doug, because it was the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he started talking at the beginning, it was like something about how I'm the butt of the joke. I was like, oh my God,
Doug.
enough, like enough.
Like yeah.
I get it. You're always the butt of the joke. I feel dark and sad. Like I'm over it.
It is makes sense though. It's like Doug's insane. It reminds me of like if I get depressed and I think about stuff that's making me depressed or insecure, and then like you guys or someone will say, don't worry about it. It's like, okay, I feel better. And then the very next day or a week later, the same shit happens, and
Right.
I get just as depressed.
Yeah.
So maybe Doug actually has some real, maybe he should get on some antidepressants.
Oh, absolutely. He has nervous breakdowns over nothing. Like, it totally makes sense.
And mental illness runs in his family. His dad, a serial killer.
His mom, dead.
Mom, we haven't seen the mom in a while.
Probably.
Yeah.
But this.
Sorry, I totally cut you off.
No, who cut who off?
He was saying that.
No, that's all I had to say.
No, I don't even know where we are.
But yeah, no, it's just enough. It's enough, Doug.
Enough, Doug.
Get over it.
Get over it. Doug.
Get with something new. Like just something new.
Nothing's so terrible, Doug. You know, nothing's so fucking terrible. And the whole thing is like, Roger hides the trophy. I guess we should get more into that.
Oh yeah. So
well, Doug writes that he hates practical jokes, especially when he's on the wrong side of them. And I was thinking, that interests me because I'm wondering what side we're like. Doug doesn't strike me. Obviously, he doesn't want to have a practical joke pulled on him.
No.
But I can't see him as being someone who would take pleasure in setting up one diabolically like Roger does. So like he should just fuck off from practical jokes.
Jokes.
Yeah, he's not a funny guy.
Oh, irony.
So, anyways, basically the teacher,
Mr. Bone.
Mr.
Who
Bone,
the fuck is Mr. Bone?
Vice Principal Bone.
We've met him before.
We've met him lots of times.
Apologies in advance, but his mouth always looks like it's ready for a dick to be shoved right inside of it.
To have a dick put in it?
Or a banana, yeah.
Is it just like the shape?
I pray to God I'm not the only person who's watched Doug, and that's what I thought.
I'm
Please
sure.
tell
I am
me if
sure
you
there's
also
some
feel
fan.
that
We can
way.
look up some fan art.
Okay.
It'll be our title image. No.
So he's a yodeling champion.
Yeah.
And has won an award. And in the school paper, the front page says, "Prankster steals Mr. Bone's yodeling award," or whatever it says.
Isn't that something like front page news? It got me thinking. Like they must have took it all the way to like the Supreme Courts. It got me thinking. Imagine.
Wait, is it on the actual newspaper or the school newspaper?
Well, I don't know. It's a front
either way
page
impressive.
Yeah. And I thought, imagine like if I might divulge a little.
Yeah.
Diverge. Inception. Insurgent. Maze Runner. Bad movie. Just saw it the other day. Imagine how depressed like the cop who filed out this report must be with his life. He probably like goes home every night to water his cactus plants and drink dry gin and pick away at loose paint chips on the wall and like peer into his special closet where there's his own antique yodeling trophy. Yeah. He has a collection of them maybe from a time in his life that was that he desperately wants to forget, and now this report brings it all back to the surface.
But if that was the case, why would he want the trophy back so badly?
No, he's the one who...
He's the cop who discovered the case.
Discovers the case.
Who's finally moved on with his life. Who stopped here and go to like...
Maybe I should listen
every
to you.
single night.
And now
I was thinking other stuff.
It's like all his past is like being... And he's going to go on to a montage where he's going to pick back up the yodeling habit, you know? And he's going to return to the stage. Back to the yodel. That's what the Lifetime movies.
Is this cop a loose cannon, by the way?
What?
Is he a loose cannon?
Who? The
this
cop? Yeah, he doesn't care if he lives or dies. He's a chain smoker. He'll just walk into a shootout and
got nothing
get
to
the
lose
job done.
And nothing to prove.
Nothing to lose.
He'll just start a shootout.
He'll just
why not?
Yeah.
It's Friday.
He's Dirty Harry and Russ Cole put together.
Damn. Where are we? Oh, so Doug. So this trophy's missing, and then Doug's talking to Skeeter about it, and he's like, "Boy, I sure hate to be the sucker who stole his trophy." And then Doug opens his locker to reveal the trophies in his locker.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty suspenseful.
Guess who put it there?
Yeah, that's where this episode kind of falls apart because I think it could have been cool if it was like a mystery. Then right away they reveal that Roger actually didn't do it. Yeah. But no, Roger did it. Duh.
Yeah, it was becoming like a bit of a whodunit. Like we're jumping all over the place here, but like obviously like Roger seems like he's the obvious suspect, but I didn't think they'd make it that obvious. And then there was like another scene later on where they're having the locker inspections, and Patty comes up and goes, "Wow, guys, good luck with your locker inspections." And I thought, what the fuck kind of thing is that to say? It makes her sound kind of suspicious.
Like she did it. Why does he need luck? What the fuck? But then we know that Roger did it, so were they in cahoots? Maybe.
Their secret love affair going on there.
Right, because Roger does like Patty.
Yeah, and she doesn't not like Roger.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that yet.
And if Patty did it, then she must know that Doug loves her. Like I feel like if she knows more than she's letting on, so it's like Doug, she knows. Everybody knows your secrets are all out.
Mhm.
Just relax. Just, be
Doug-
you.
Although the last few episodes, he hasn't really brought up his love for Patty Mayonnaise.
It seems like it's always somewhere, just like at least
yeah,
a little thing.
there's like a fantasy of like
Like,
Patty
even
doesn't
Doug
like
loves
him
Patty.
the
anymore.
previous,
Oh,
Doug
yeah,
can't
yeah.
dig it. It's just that one sentence, right?
Yeah.
Doug loves Patty.
Wait, but does Judy know that? Doug likes
Apparently,
Patty? I guess so.
maybe he
No,
talks
but
in
it's
his.
I
not
thought Skeeter was
she.
the only person in the whole world.
Maybe
I knew.
Doug talks in his sleep, and she hears it through the walls.
Maybe he just
like,
masturbates really loudly.
and he says,
And yes,
mayonnaise,
I love
mayonnaise.
Patty.
Patty Mayonnaise.
It's really romantic.
Oh, mayonnaise.
Oh God.
He gets mayonnaise. Well,
And he hit that.
speaking of mayonnaise, right at the beginning of the episode, like when it's on the front page news, trophy's gone. Mayonnaise's friend, what's her name? Maybe
Phoebes.
was it
Phoebe.
BB?
No, it's
BB.
It's BB.
BB.
It is BB.
She asks,
I got it wrong.
like she's like almost a real person because she asks, why would anyone?
Almost a ghost.
Why? What?
Almost a real person. Almost
Yeah.
a ghost.
Yeah, almost a ghost as well. Like, why would anyone want to steal that dumb trophy? I think are
Yeah.
her exact
Yeah.
words. So like, this girl
Oh,
must
yeah.
be the only person in the reality of Doug who can actually differentiate between like the real and the absurd.
She's the audience surrogate.
Yeah, is that like what a term is
yeah,
for
something
that?
like that.
It's funny because in my mind, Doug's the audience surrogate, which is what makes Doug so boring.
Right. Well, he's like the open vessel
Right.
for
open
anybody
vessel.
to project themselves onto.
Fair.
Right, but I can't relate to him. I
no,
can relate to
nobody
her.
can relate
Yeah,
to Doug.
because
She-
Phoebe gets that it's a dumb thing, the trophy.
BB digs it.
Phoebe.
BB Dink.
Phoebe or BB?
No, it's BB.
Is
BB?
BB?
It is BB.
Why not?
Because it was all over the comment sections like, this Patty Mayonnaise sounds like BB in Doug Live. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm wrong.
Phoebe. If her name was Phoebe, it would like align with the fact that she was the only normal one.
Yeah, and that's such a normal name, like Chalky and Mayonnaise.
Shocky.
Oh,
Oh,
by
yeah.
Go
oh
ahead.
wait, no. Okay, I'll just bring it up.
Yeah.
Remember last when in the hiking episode where like Roger brings up a story about Skunky Beaumont.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Comes back.
Skunky Beaumont is a
Yeah.
real person,
And lost his mind.
and had to. No, he
claimed
stole
insanity.
he stole the
He was,
trophy originally.
he was one of the two. Like there was a guy 2 years ago, and then a year ago was Stokey.
Yeah, Skunky.
Skunky.
Skunky. He stole the trophy but pleaded insanity.
Yeah.
So then now he has to have like guidance counseling throughout his rest of his grade school career.
That wouldn't be as
That's
bad
hilarious.
as detention, though. Guidance counseling's kind of.
you're right.
It's nice. It's comforting. You know?
Well,
You're right.
it'll be bad if you didn't need it.
what?
It'd be bad if you didn't need
But
it.
still better than detention, which is the only other option.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The guy from 2 years ago is still in detention.
Right.
Skokey's
Uh-huh.
just.
But the guy in detention can just like do shit. You can just like
Fuck off.
write
Detention.
something.
At my
or I don't
school,
know.
like in high school, in my school, you weren't allowed to do homework during detention, and I was in detention. If you did homework, they'd say that's doing yourself a favor, and you're not. That's
Yeah.
not their exact words, but that was the idea. Like you're helping yourself because if you're doing your homework, you're on your own time doing
Mhm.
things that you need to do, and that's not why you're here.
But isn't
you're
that a
here
good
to be
use of
punished.
being in detention?
You think
Then,
so,
like-
especially because the kids getting detention are probably not that focused.
Yeah.
On school
So that's good if they're using their detention time. That's
I don't know.
that's
I
them learning
I do
a lesson.
get it. Like I do get because
Oh.
otherwise you'd be at home doing that.
Yeah,
It's your free time.
It's your time.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do on your time.
That's
Ugh.
the school. Today's just made me depressed about the school system.
All right, Roger. When Doug, if I may, sorry.
No.
When Doug first finds the trophy in his locker, and then Roger comes along and sounds pretty guilty. But then Doug feels like he's guilty all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's thinking and he
I
has
must have
this...
stolen somehow.
I must have done it somehow because I'm an idiot.
Dumb shit.
But then, yeah, he is a dumb shit. But you know that he really must feel guilty because he has that fantasy
Yes, the courtroom.
of the
fantasy.
courtroom, and he imagines
Yeah.
everybody condemning him in the court case against him.
Yeah.
And he really must feel screwed because he imagines that Mr.
Mr.
Dink is
Dink.
his defense
I
lawyer.
love that so much.
Ah.
First of all, I love that it's Mr. Dink and not one of his parents who, in his fantasy, comes to his rescue and defends
They're
him.
close.
Like
Yeah.
he hears more about him in his mind than his parents do.
Right,
Right? They're the
right.
ones who would. He's the one who would come and defend him.
And what a
What a-
defense it would be.
What a lot of lack of Dink in these last couple episodes.
Oh,
yeah,
it's-
we got
it's
a little hit
unfortunate.
of Dink.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure that when in the fantasy when he's on the stand, there's like a roll of toilet paper. Did anyone notice that?
On the
No.
stand?
Okay, there's
No.
there's this shot from above of him on the stand, and like being questioned, and
Yeah.
then sort of there's a hook, and I swear there's what looks like a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
That makes
in
sense.
case he shits his pants or whatever because he's nervous. But I was thinking, better safe than sorry for old Doug.
Yeah.
This show
He shits his pants.
Shits his pants.
Oh.
Where were we?
Well, I think the next thing to
What's
talk
going on?
about would be the surprise locker inspection.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Bone's like, I want everyone to have a surprise locker inspection now.
Oh, yeah, and Roger really is the funniest character at that point because upon this announcement over the PA system, Doug gets up, he's like, oh no, and Roger's sitting there and he's like, ha ha ha, da 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 da. It's so funny. He's just a little shit fuck.
Roger's so, like,
Yeah, go big
he's
or go home.
psychotic, though. Like, isn't there, like, there's, like, a moment later where, like, Doug brings the trophy home with him, and then he brings it to somebody, and Roger steals it again?
Yeah,
and
I didn't
puts it in his
understand what
locker?
happened there. There's all
I
kind
forget. I didn't write it down.
He brings it home.
Yeah.
But then he's going to tell the truth, because that's like...
Yeah. And he writes it in a bag called Doug Funny. Why would you do that, Doug, you idiot?
We know why. It's not very
Because
smart.
he's setting himself up.
Um,
And he has a convo with his sister.
Yeah, he tries to get her to help him.
because now they're best friends.
Yeah, now they're BFFs.
And she's like, why don't
Continuity.
you just tell the truth? It's the old, like, walk out the front door, Ocean's 11 kind of trick.
Right.
Which makes so much... I feel like the way that Doug is, his whole demeanor, if he just went and said, I got pranked, then no one's going to ask any questions.
No, Doug's a good kid. Well, although Mr. Bone doesn't really like Doug.
He doesn't?
No, every time we've seen him interact with him, he's always kind of like, all right, funny, and he's kind of like annoyed with him.
Oh,
Like the
maybe.
the science project thing.
There are. It just keeps your. I guess I do identify with Doug a little bit, but like being that kind of kid who's unassuming and quiet,
Yeah.
and not an instigator, but not really anything at all. Really, he's just like a blank soul, and I find that teachers, educators in general, they just don't know how exactly to communicate with kids like that.
Yeah.
They don't. I feel like teachers know how to communicate best with kids who are just outspoken in general, whether it's in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that they know how, it's that they do. Like, if a kid's outspoken, then the teachers are bound to respond, and in a good way. And if a kid's a shit disturber, then they're forced to respond,
Right.
and they like demand more attention.
But there's more like communication, and there's more of an understanding of what this kid is, how to deal with them. You can think about how to deal with them, and I think that Doug's just one of those kids that nobody, like no adult except Mr. Dink, understands him.
Yeah.
You know.
As unassuming as Doug is, he has some pretty grandiose fantasies. Like, he has a fantasy after he imagines being honest that he'd get like an award from the governor for most honest kid.
Is that in this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'd get no school for the rest of the year,
That's
which is
pretty-
not an
good.
award. It's
No.
not like a benefit. That's
No,
terrible
it's
for
not.
it. Anyways.
But when you were a kid, didn't you want to not have to go to school?
Yeah.
Right?
I wanted it to be summer all year.
Summer, summer, summer.
Summer.
Did you ever have nightmares in summer, like where you had to go back to school the next day, and you'd think, but it's summer.
Summer just started.
This is absurd.
Summer seems so long when you're a child, but it's like 2 months.
Yeah, now that we have way more.
Now that
shorter.
life is summer when you're unemployed.
Yeah, now I have nightmares that I'm unemployed, but then it's real.
Then it's
Yeah,
real.
then I wake up and fuck, it's real.
Um,
Judy actually is the one that suggests that Doug pleads insanity. Like, she is truly trapped in her own little world, I think. Anyways, Doug says that the Stokey Beaumont character...
Skunky Beaumont.
Is it Skunky?
It's Skunky. Isn't it Skunky?
I heard
Skunky.
It's
It's
Skokie, but
It's Skunky.
Skunky.
It's
like I
Skunky.
said, my ear's infected, so I can't really hear that well. But anyways,
Continuity.
he's like, that won't work because pleading insanity, it's already been done. Like, how many people have stolen this fucking yodeling
Must
trophy?
be like a yearly
It's a
prank.
tradition.
It's like a
senior
senior
is
prank.
it? Is that what, did they say that? That makes
No,
more
but-
sense.
It must be.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even think about that. Anyways, he decides to tell the truth, and but then there is all this confusion, like in the final act of the episode, where him and Skeeter are running around, and Doug seems to have a plan. And maybe it's because I was watching a poor quality video, but it's like he attempts to put it back in the room, but then he runs out, and then him and Skeeter run into the bathroom and try to flush it down the fucking toilet.
Oh my god, that is the dumbest thing.
What
in
a
the
dumb
world.
move.
For like 2 seconds. It's not like
What a way to
they were
pad out the
trying-
script.
But I mean, come on, like Doug's
Yeah.
supposed to be like silly and dumb, but he's not supposed to be like functionally retarded.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be.
He's not.
Right.
But he is.
He is in that.
Or an idiot. He's the one, like, there's something. And then he leaves it back in Mr. Bones' office, probably covered in shit, and discovers that
He
Rock.
put it in a shitty toilet.
Well, he's assuming that he'll get rid of it by
Oh
flushing
my
it down the
God,
toilet,
that's
so
great.
maybe he did.
Yeah.
And then he discovers that Roger somehow. Roger set him up! Surprise! It was Roger!
Da,
you
da,
know?
da, da.
Dun, da, da.
Who knew?
Wanna
Wanna Jack Bandit.
Na-na-na-na.
But
Judah, Judah, Judah,
And then
Judah,
Doug
Judah,
is-
Judah.
Judah, 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 Judah.
but then Mr. Bone, he catches Doug because like the trophy was on his trophy rack or whatever and it was still in a paper bag that said Doug Funny on it. So obviously he gets him. It's like, oh, Funny, I'm gonna give you detention until you die, or something like that. And then Roger, being a sociopath, he goes up to the principal's office and talks to Doug, and he's like, "Oh, Funny, I really got you that time."
Let me recount the plot of what just happened in this episode.
So then he like sits on the table and he puts his shoes up on the desk, and it hits the PA button, and then he reveals his whole masterwork of what he did to the whole
entire
school.
Yeah.
He's like, I stole it, I shoved it in your locker.
Very descriptive, thorough,
Right.
as the villain always does for no reason at the end
Right.
of any action movie, and it doesn't make sense either because Doug realizes what Roger's doing, and he's even trying to prevent Roger, and like in
Yeah.
a sense, screwing himself over because Roger's about to take all the blame that has already been put on Doug. I don't know why he did that.
It would have been better if Doug was the one to subtly press the button. Like, it's Doug using his wits to get out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
That would obviously never happen, but that would be a
No,
lot
but
better.
now it's just like a stupid coincidence. Like, oh, Roger's a dumbass, Doug wins.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's
He-
it feels unearned.
He is really a dumbass. If you guys notice, the little PA button flashes like a really, really bright light.
Right.
He totally just
Oh, yeah.
in his periphery, like didn't even notice it.
I think, like, Roger's a little bit, like, colorblind, maybe. So he wouldn't have noticed.
Maybe.
That's lights, too, right?
Everyone in Bluffington's colorblind.
It's true.
Yes.
Racism doesn't
Rainbows.
exist.
Who was it that I said last week that he looks the most like? Oh,
Um,
the guy from Street Fighter,
Balrog. Not Balrog.
No, it's not Balrog.
Blanca.
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 But
Isn't that-
I was just gonna say, like Doug was really stupid, and maybe the writers were actually thinking what you were saying when they first came up with the story. Like, how about Doug pushes the button?
Yeah.
But then they thought, no. Like, Doug's an idiot. We can't have that.
What do you think, Jim Jenkins?
It's not stupid enough.
Smokes a cigar.
It's
No, it's Jumbo Jenkins. God damn it!
I wonder if the writers probably eventually started to get a big kick out of just making Doug as lame and stupid as possible.
Doug's
I bet they
fucking
did.
useless. Oh man.
I bet they had a huge chart on the board and all the different ways that he could be such a lame. Have we gone lame this week? How about insecure? How about pathetic? How about something much worse?
Just
Underlying?
write a bunch of negative adjectives about Doug.
Mhm.
And then the punishment for Roger is that he has to clean all of
Has to
Mr. Bones' trophies,
Polish them.
all, and he has to stand on a ladder and do it. And I
Yeah.
thought that's probably not in the school's best interest.
Yeah.
To
No.
have a kid on a ladder.
And he has to stay way late in the night.
Yeah, but then I thought that Roger's parents probably don't love him because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
100% unlovable.
Right. And this is before they got rich, so they don't even notice that he's around.
That plot line.
What's that have to? Does that you?
Well, I mean, that if he fell, and I don't think they would even file a lawsuit. They'd be like, thank God.
Right.
No more kids.
Right,
No more
okay.
son.
Yeah.
And not to
No more
mention,
son.
thank God, not to mention, a guy who was left alone and stole a trophy.
Right.
Now they're going to leave him alone with all kinds of trophies, like access to all these
Yeah,
trophies. I don't know.
that's very true.
There is one part where Roger's finishing polishing all the trophies, and then Mr. Bones like, well, Roger, there's one more trophy you have to
Oh, yeah.
polish. Did anybody else think that he was like?
Oh
Asking him to
yeah,
polish his ween.
that's right.
Yes, his assistant vice principal Bone, as it were.
His assistant vice principal.
His
Well,
That's-
if Laura is right, I think he's probably polishing his own vice principal
Bone.
Yeah.
And he wears lederhosen and then he
I don't
yodels.
know, maybe that's what we're supposed to, like, that's what's implied. Because then he whips out this huge ass trophy that just could be a metaphor for
Right.
his huge
Yeah.
ween.
Ugh,
It's schlong.
that's creepy.
I'm so sorry.
you think
like,
Roger was
just
molested?
generally to Doug.
Ugh.
So many disgusting theories.
There's lots of this show's actually very dark when you think about it. Do you guys like this episode?
No.
No.
Did you?
I like the first, I like the cold open. I thought, oh, that's kind of suspenseful. He opens the door. I have the trophy, and no explanation where it came from. Oh, this could be like a cool whodunit.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, Doug could be trying to hide the trophy from Mr. Bone. And it's sort of that, but then it's just like, oh, Roger did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had a chance to make it like something different. Like they
Yeah.
were using the whole whodunit structure,
Yeah.
the mystery, the crime, but it just turned out to be exactly like any other episode.
Yeah, it kind of bummed me out. This
Yeah.
could have been a really good one.
You're right. It was just anticlimactic. It was just a lot of back and forth with Doug and Roger.
If we could turn back time, we could find a way.
Yes, I could turn back time. So
Okay,
that's how I felt.
right. All right, so that's it, everybody.
Are you trying to turn the lights off?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not working, so I don't.
When you're done listening to the video, we expect an applause.
Please,
Yeah.
just clap silently to
Yeah.
yourself.
And if you have a clap light, you can snap.
Yeah, just like
If you're holding like a beer in one hand, snap.
Yeah,
That's
snap.
That's the only time I snap. I always have a beer in my hand.
if you're holding two beers, double shotgunning two beers, just
Yodel.
rub, clang them together.
But be careful
And if
because
they
you don't want to
Get
break
beer
it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And if it breaks, put on shoes before you pick the glass up.
Oh, like steins of beer. If you're holding two beer steins, let's smash them together.
But you gotta be careful because if you have two beers and they're taped to your hands,
Yeah.
If you're in a
then
situation,
that
You
could,
could
you could
crack
cut your
right in.
hand.
Right.
Yeah, so
that's
be
like
careful.
a pledge situation.
Uh-huh.
Pledge,
for,
or
you
just
know,
a
College season's coming
normal
up.
Saturday.
Yeah, so just that's what
Correct.
you would do.
And if you don't have insurance, don't stitch your own hand.
Please.
Please. PSA.
We have a whole bunch of other list of what to do if you're in certain situations. You can find it in the episode description.
We will get you
Just
We
out
have
of
a
look that up.
podcast, yeah.
Just look that up, and you'll be covered.
Mhm.
All right. So, anything we want to plug while we wrap this up? What about you, Laura?
Okay, my channel, Life, Space, Style, and one word, Lifestyle.
That's lifestyle and lifestyle.
Yeah.
When she said space, she means hit the
Oh,
space
a space
bar.
button.
Not
You know
life
what?
space.
I bet so many people think that's what I mean. Lifestyle and Lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's some new videos up, and
Mhm.
there's definitely going to be a new video
Whoa.
with Coconut Buyer in it.
What?
Very soon, for reals this time.
Whoa! When did I record? This is
This was
that.
months ago.
That
It's finally
one.
coming up, yeah.
Wow! I'm so excited to
Honored.
cringe over my performance.
No, you were great. I showed it to
Oh,
all my
yes.
friends, and they all said, the guy was funny.
Oh wow! The guy was funny.
The guy was funny.
Are any of those friends single?
Most of them are men, but yeah, they're single.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll get what I can take. All right. So, what about you, Yuri?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go to my channel, Coconut Buyer, on YouTube.com. I have some great new videos that aren't juvenile and stupid at all.
I bet you're lying.
I am lying.
You're like Roger.
I am such a shitter. Also, I have this a new podcast called Funny Talk. It's great. You should listen to it. It's like me and two other friends, and we just talk about Nickelodeon's Doug. I think it'd be a hit. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe a Disney Doug special.
Okay, let's not go overboard here.
Uh-huh.
Anyways,
Who the fuck would want to do that?
exactly. That'd be so dumb. Never mind. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, don't forget, keep being funny. That's our catchphrase, I think. Stop.